Hello everyone, and welcome to my home in beautiful British Columbia in Victoria. I wanted to bring you this first video from here because I'm actually relaxing for once, and I'm about to jet off in just a couple of weeks here to go to LA, to Los Angeles, for some really exciting entrepreneurial endeavors, which I very much look forward to sharing with you. But that is a totally different topic, so let's leave that one. In Canada, we've just finished up Canadian Thanksgiving, and the week is underway again, so maybe we all just need to take a moment and just kind of go, but you know, on the Thanksgiving long weekend, we're focused on gratitude. We have a great awareness of the importance for us to be grateful. I mean, that's the whole point, right? It's Thanksgiving, we're giving thanks. And I had this thought last year at this time: what if, instead of being grateful on Thanksgiving and Christmas, what if we cultivated daily gratitude, intentional gratitude, every single day of the year, not just on holidays? How would that change our life? How would that change our mindset? And so what I did is I actually started writing gratitude lists. I started writing these lists every single day to see, almost like a self-research, to see what effect this would have on my thought processes and on my life. And I'd like to share that with you. I would like to back up first, though, and just talk about why it is we actually really need gratitude and why it's important to cultivate it in your life, and how it changes your life. And if we go back, let's go back, go back to the beginning of human history. We have evolved with hardwired brains directed to negative bias. So what that means is that as we've evolved, we have been in this state of constant hyper-vigilance. And around every single corner, as we go through our days and as we go through our lives, we're looking for what's going to go wrong. We are forecasting perpetually the things that are going to screw us. It's our negative bias. It's the way that we've evolved. And for thousands of years, we've done this. And so we've arrived at this almost panicked, scared mindset that dictates how we live our lives. Now, surprisingly, reversing this process, getting away from factory settings, is not as hard as you would think. There's a simple practice, and that's the practice of showing daily gratitude that can help to actually recalibrate our thought processes and can actually pull us towards a place of what I call gratitude bias or appreciation bias, which basically makes it so that instead of immediately jumping to the negative thought, we can first jump to the positive thought. And the reason this is so important is because research tells us, they've interviewed a lot of people who are at the end of their lives and have asked, what was it that made you happy? Or what was it that gave you meaning in your life? And what researchers have discovered is it's not actually happiness that's made people happy, it's meaning. And when we look at meaning, we're talking about gratitude. We're talking about how grateful we were for the things that we had in our lives, not the things we owned or the business success we achieved. We're talking about the gratitude that we show for the things we already have in our lives. So here's what I learned about gratitude. Number one, it's really easy to be grateful. So easy when you're having a good day. Picture this day. You're in Japan. You have 40 hangry tourists who are expecting to have lunch at this beautiful little garden restaurant beside the emperor's, the remnants of the emperor's garden. And you get to this restaurant that you've reconfirmed, and they say, oh, well, we weren't expecting you until tomorrow. And by the way, we have nowhere for you to dine. That day is a little harder to write a gratitude list. And what I found is that writing gratitude lists actually gets easier and easier as you continue doing it. So I'd like to read you my first gratitude list that I wrote on that exact day, and this is how it went. Number one, I'm grateful that I was able to sleep for 6 hours before the jackhammer next door came on. 2, I am grateful I managed to sort of save my disaster of an event. 3, I am grateful it's not raining. 4, I am thankful I don't live in a war zone. 5, I'm thankful I'm in a 5-star hotel bed and not homeless. So that list is scraping the bottom of the barrel a little bit. Anytime you start to talk about having fresh drinking water, you know it's probably not your best gratitude day, but those are the days that you really need gratitude the most. And, that took me to a place where, even though I was writing this kind of pathetic little list, I realized I was able to step back just enough to actually see how relative my problems really were, and that my problems truly were first world, even though I was having a bad day. And the second thing that I learned about gratitude is that the more we actually practice accessing, and I say practice accessing because we all have a huge well of gratitude inside of us. We just need to tap into that. We just have to drop the bucket down. And the more you practice accessing, the more you drop the bucket down, the more there actually is for you to pull up every single day. And, this is what I'm talking about in creating this appreciation or gratitude bias. And within a matter of weeks, that sort of slightly pathetic list you heard of first world problems developed into a really wonderful list where I was able to show some gratitude even when I didn't really want to. And let me read, it would help if I had the right side of the book. Let me read you a couple of things that are a good example of this. So number 1, I am grateful that this cold has not progressed into my chest. 2, I am grateful that the lady at the checkout counter was so crabby because it reminded me that I should be really kind to people even when I'm sick and grumpy. 3, I am grateful that the kitchen ran out of bacon because it reminded me that I should probably have eaten salmon instead, and that's what I did. 4, I am grateful for the baby that screamed for 5 hours without stopping on the plane because it gave me an opportunity to feel compassion, and it gave me a reason to connect with the mother with whom I had a wonderful conversation after that. And number 5, I'm grateful my phone died even though I was trying to write a really important message, because I ended up talking to this lovely older man who told me his really interesting life story and recounted to me how much he loved his wife who had just passed away. And that was a really touching experience I wouldn't have had if my phone hadn't turned off. So reflecting positively on these negative experiences, it allowed me to be grateful. It allowed me to find the silver lining even when I really didn't want to. And that's what Eckhart Tolle talks about with the pain body, right? We all have this pain body inside of us that just wants to gorge itself on this icky, negative energy. And basically, we just want to wallow in a pity party at that time. And when you're able to find things to be grateful for, the more you practice doing this, the more that you'll find you're able to actually be grateful for them, when what you really want to do is just put on your fat pants and never leave your house, turn off all the lights, and have the biggest pity party you've ever had in your life. And so by learning to express gratitude, I learned to create an endless flow of positive energy instead of negative energy and feeding this pain body. The third thing that I learned is that the more we express gratitude, the nicer of a person we actually become. And writing gratitude lists, it doesn't just create meaning in our lives. It doesn't just create a flow of positive energy. Research shows gratitude actually makes you a legitimately nicer person. When you spend time thinking about kindness, writing about the kind things that have been done for you, kindness is on your brain. And so you start to actually have all these warm fuzzy feelings all the time that you want to pass around to everybody else, which is why researchers call gratitude, the American Psychological Association calls gratitude the motivator, reinforcer of kindness, the motivator and reinforcer of kindness. So it motivates you to be kind, and it reinforces how it feels when somebody is kind to you. So it essentially creates a desire for us to continue spreading love and kindness, and that's never a bad thing because it always comes back to you tenfold. The fourth thing that I learned is that gratitude actually really gives us distance. And when I'm talking about distance and space, I'm talking about the distance from our ego. so that we can separate ourselves from our ego. And a good example of that, if you're writing a gratitude list, it's really difficult to be grateful if you feel entitled. If you believe that you deserve something, how can you be thankful for receiving it? If you believe it should have been given to you on a silver platter. And so that's just an example of where we can train ourselves to document these hidden experiences, these hidden positive moments inside negative experience that actually forces our ego to just lay off and get out of our way. And for most of us, separating our identity and our ego from ourself and what we really are, which is just a big bundle of love, essentially, your ego, it has no choice to get out of the way. And the more distance we get from our ego, the closer we get to consciousness and the closer we get to having true calmness and peace of mind, which I think at the end of the day, when we're all searching for happiness, we're all just really searching for contentment and consciousness. If you would like to take on this practice of getting on the path towards positive bias, all you really have to do is take one step. And you just have to take one step every single day. And don't get me wrong, I mean, shit happens. I'm not saying that you're going to be grateful, you're going to learn to be grateful and your whole life's going to be roses. What I am saying is that being grateful and practicing gratitude gives you another set of glasses. It gives you another lens through which to see the world. And I very firmly believe that how you see the world matters. In fact, I would argue how you see the world is really the only thing that matters, because our thoughts manifest our reality. And when you think something, you create it, whether it's good or bad. So why wouldn't you want to create goodness? And why wouldn't you want to have good thoughts? So as I was saying, if you want to get on this path, on this bandwagon of gratitude, I'm making up words here, of gratitude, just set aside time to write a list of 5 things. You can do it first thing when you wake up. You can do it at night. I personally like to do both. I like to wake up with appreciation for what's going to happen in my day, and I like to take that positive energy to bed with me as well. So I like to write for 5 minutes before I go to bed. I would really love to hear what has helped you to learn this practice of gratitude, and I'd love to hear what you're grateful for. Thank you so much for listening. I look forward to coming to you from LA to talk about this really exciting business venture I'm taking on. And I would like to express some gratitude to all of you for the wonderful positive thoughts for my very naughty barbecue skewer eating dog over here, who's just had a very expensive stomach surgery. So thank you for all of your good wishes. Buddy is doing great. And we look forward to seeing you another time. Have a great day.